You have a lot of questions on your mind about this particular topic. Na hindi ko alam kung bakit ko inookan. Kasi hindi na ako nakatira din sa PGH, so layo-layo yung pinagaling ko. Pero nung pangalawang invitation, nasabi ko, mukhang para sa akin yata talaga itong talk na ito. Kasi sabi ko sa Panginoon, sige na nga, bibigay ko na to. So reflecting on the sixth commandment, of course the sixth commandment we know as do not commit adultery. Kakatapos lang ng The Legal Wife. Sino nanood nun? Sa internet. So, do not commit adultery. Okay? From Exodus 20. Now, of course, we understand this as pertaining to sexual activity. So, I won't anymore go into the explanation, but we understand that as pertaining to sexual activity. Okay? And not just about marital infidelity. Diba? Meron daw bata, 6 years old, nag-confess sa pari, Father, I commit adultery. Actually, case yan sa exam namin. Paano mo papaliwanag mo? Sa 6 years old. But, although it's not strictly about marital infidelity, as you will realize later, it will still revolve around marriage. No? How we understand this commandment as pertaining to sexual activity, and to understand that you realize how central marriage is in the understanding, in the church's understanding and teaching of sex, no, and sexuality. The church's moral teaching on sexual activity is pretty straightforward. Sa totoo lang, hindi natin kailangan mahabang dito. Ang turo ng simbahan about sexual activity, no, is diretso. No? And what is it? You know? What?
No sex outside.
Okay. Nakakala ko sabihin mo, no sex. Period. No? But, any sexual act not done within and for the good of, I think that's an important, and for the good of a marital commitment, no? So any sexual act not done within the context of marriage and for the good of marriage is morally unacceptable or disordered. Okay? Meaning not in the proper order. That's what it means. Okay? So, when we say sexual act, babasa mo naman. Sexual act is any act in which someone intends, either as an end in itself, okay, or as a means to some other end, to bring about or maintain sexual arousal, and or to cause incomplete or complete sexual satisfaction, whether in himself or herself, in another, or both. Ano daw? No? So, it is any act, no? Whether as an end in itself, okay? When you're just after the sex act itself, the pleasure of the sexual act. Or you use the sexual act as a way for you to get whatever it is that you want. Affection, money, job, whatever. Okay? To bring about or maintain sexual arousal. Okay, we don't have to go into the mechanics of this. Do we? Siguro naman nag-sex education na kayo, no? Yes or no? The basics of it. Hindi natin kailangan yung chart na may... Hindi na, no? Okay, wala na. Hahaba lang yung usapan natin. So we don't have to go into that. But you know what I mean? Sexual arousal to cause incomplete. So whether it reaches into the orgasm or not. In oneself or in another person. So that's a very technical way of explaining it. But we all know, or I think more or less, we know what it means. I'm trying to look at, meron bang mga parang walang alam? Wala na. Who's the youngest person here? Wala namang minor na dito, ano?
18.
18 years old. Pusang na loob.
90.
So we can talk about it as mature adults. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Pero hindi na natin puntahan yung mga the nitty-gritty. So that is how the sexual act is defined. Okay? So going back to the teaching in the church. So any sexual act not done within and for the good of marital commitment is not acceptable. It's morally wrong. Okay? Now why is it important for the good of? Because just because two persons are married does not mean that the husband can already do anything sexually that he wants to the wife because it's her obligation. Okay? If the sexual act is not mutual, if the sexual act is not done in the context of a loving commitment, it is rape. And you cannot justify rape just because you're married. Okay? Kasi kung wala yan, sexual act within marriage naman eh. Pero, pinili. Okay? Still, that's against church teaching. So, that's what's important. Now, every violation of this is always objectively grave. Okay? Objectively grave. Anong grave? Grabe. Anong grave? Serious. Objectively serious. Any sexual transgression. Why? Because it is linked with the value of a human person. Tao ang pinag-usapan natin dito, hindi bagay. And that's why any act that is morally unacceptable because it violates this is always grave. Because it has something to do with the dignity of the human person, which is serious. No? But with varying degrees of culpability. Ano yung sabihin ng with varying degrees of culpability? Not all sexual acts have the same, what do you call this? They're all grave, they're all serious, but there's still varying degrees of seriousness and responsibility for the act. For example, a 14-year-old boy who masturbates, you cannot put that on the same level as a 35-year-old man who is married and prefers to masturbate rather than have sexual relations with his wife. Ba yun? They're both about masturbation, but in a way, they cannot be put in the same level. Okay? But they're both serious. Pero yung degree of culpability ng 14-year-old boy and the degree of culpability of the 35-year-old married man, not the same. Get ya? Because you have to look at that. You can't just say, masturbation is all the same level of... Titingnan mo din yung particulars. In all situation and cases, moral cases, you really look at particulars. Sige. Now, why is it very important? No, that actually, yun lang talagang turo ng simbahan. No? Within marriage. Why? Because the marital sexual act actualizes the couple's one flesh unity. Okay? The two people join together, giving self to the other, so that they can experience and enjoy this life-giving act. Okay? And life-giving act, not just because it's life-giving to them. It's literally life-giving because the union has the potential to produce life. Okay? And that's what makes it very sacred. That's what makes sexuality very sacred. Very beautiful and sacred. Okay? So it's not an evil thing. It's not something that we need to be scared about or shun or laugh nervously about. Because it is meant to be this beautiful, beautiful thing. That with this gift, two people can become one and produce life. Okay? And in it, in this act, it is meant to be a giving of self. A man gives himself to the woman gives himself to the man. So it's a giving act. So, the teaching of the church about sexuality is really this. It just revolves around this. All the other things will have to use this as the standard. So whether it's premarital sex, whether it's masturbation, homosexuality, contraception, all other sexual related issues will have to revolve around this central teaching. What sexuality is for. Okay? Now, I see many parang, paano yung dami tanong, no? Hindi natin iba. But, also, so, the marital sexual act, no? But, is it really just simply about acts? When you say adultery, it's about act, no? Is it simply about that? No, the sexual act. Or anything that is leading up or related to that sexual act, which is intercourse. Is it just about that? Of course, the other day, this was our gospel reading, no? Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart." So when we talk about adultery, it's not just about sexual acts. We're also looking at adultery in the heart. And you know what adultery in the heart is? What the word is for adultery in the heart? Begins with the letter L. Okay? That's adultery in the heart. Okay? So it's not just a married man being unfaithful to the wife. But what is underneath that is lust. Okay? Now, what is lust? No? When you say lust, it's not merely sexual excitement. And the men will know this because sometimes it just comes spontaneously. And it's not something that you even just there. And even women, I guess there are times of the month when you feel more sexually charged than other times. Parang di ba? Yun. Okay, sige. So, but what is lust? It's more than just that. It's more than just a physical sensation. Okay? Lust is intense or unrestrained sexual craving. Alam niyo ba yung craving? Nag-crave na ba kayo? Crave kayo na sisig. Ganun. Talagang naglalaway ka, isipin mo lang yung sisig. Craving. So lust is intense or unrestrained sexual craving. It has something to do with consuming or devouring. It has something to do with possessing, controlling, manipulating, or overpowering. Possessing. And you realize so much of how the world understands love is possessiveness. Again, going back to the legal wife, di ba? Akin ang asawa ko, akin! Trailer lang na panagtuhan. Disclaimer. Di ba? Akin siya. Akin lang. But love ba yun? Is that what love consists of? Owning? Di ba marami nang yan? Previously loved cars, mga ganun. Actually, previously owned cars, ibig sabihin, no? Second hand. Di ba? Pero, yun, lust is about possessing, about controlling. Diba? Yung pikot, diba? Pili-pili. Diba? Or when you count the number of people you made your own, or you seduced to fall in love with you. Diba? Conquest. There's no love there, it's lust. Diba? And lust is not just confined to physical sexuality, as in having sexual relations physically. It's also emotional manipulation, emotional only, or psychological. Okay? That you want this person to always be at your beck and call. Dapat pag nag-text ako sa'yo, mag-text ka agad. Pag hindi ka nag-text, naku. Hindi ganun, ha? So, that kind of demand, that kind of relentless expectation for attention and care. As you see, if you look at all of this, what is the direction of all of these experiences? Anong direction? To whom are these directed? To the self. Not the other. The self. Ako. Anong gusto ko? Anong para sa akin? Anong may bibigay mo sa akin? Mapapasaya mo ba ako? Kung hindi mo na ako mapapasaya, sorry ka na lang. Hindi na ako masaya sa iyo. Okay? So that is what lust is. It's more than just sexual arousal. It's more than just feeling excited or tingly sensations in your body. It's more than just parang kilig or whatever. It's really a craving to possess. Lust has its focus on pleasing the self. And it often leads to unwholesome actions to fulfill one's desires with no regard to the consequences. Kahit mawasak itong pamilya ko, kahit mawasak ko yung pamilya niya, I don't care. Makuha ko lang gusto ko. It's like greed, but with persons, for persons, rather than things. But still, you're making objects of these persons. Okay? Again, going back, the teachings of the church on sexuality has something to do with the dignity of the human person. Ano yung sabihin ng dignity? A person cannot be a means to something. You cannot use a person. So when you use a person for your sexual pleasure, for your emotional contentment, for your security, you're violating that. You're using a person. So if you're looking for a partner in life, why? Kasi yung kung malungkot. Kung meron akong partner, masaya ako. Okay. You might say, that's nothing, that's normal, that's harmless. No? Well, maybe to a certain extent. But are you looking for a person or an appliance? Di ba ganun? Parang may kailangan ako may music. Bili ako. Okay? So you're looking for something, someone to fulfill a need. Now, that is such a difficult starting point in a relationship because that person will also have his or her own needs. Okay? So, if you look at it, lust is therefore the polar opposite of God's intention for the gift of sexuality. Because sexuality is giving of self. Lust is taking for the self. Okay? Lust violates the dignity of persons, both of the object of the lust and the one who commits it, the one who is lustful. Why? Because you are using these persons to complete you, as if you are not complete. Okay? But apart from focusing on what not to do, which sometimes we can focus on, parang, ano bang bawal? Bawal to, bawal ito, bawal ito, no? Tapos, the commandment then just becomes that, and we become very fearful about bawal na ba ito? No? Rather than focus on what not to do, what does the sixth commandment actually enjoin us to do? We are called to be chaste. Okay? Hindi yung hinahabol, ha? Chaste. Chaste, that is to love. The thing called chastity is loving. Okay? Chastity is not prudishness. Alam niyo yung prudishness, yung na-imagine ko ito parang mistapia type, no? Parang bawal magbanggit ng mga salitang bastos. Yeah. But chastity is more than that. Chastity is really loving in a manner that is trustworthy. Okay? To love. Whether you're a married person, you love in a trustworthy manner. If you're a single person, you also love in a manner that can be trusted. Why? It can be trusted because your aim is never to exploit or use another person for your own pleasure. That's what makes it trustworthy. Because you're not out to consume or devour or possess or control another person. You can't just say, oh, single ako, chaste ako. Well, not automatically. Paano pag married ako, hindi na ako pwede maging chaste? Well, you are also called to marry chastity. And here from the Catechism of the Catholic Church, I think this is something that's very hopeful. Kasi you say, oh Lord, parang na lang, dami ko na palang nagawa, or parang, will I ever really reach a point of being chaste? Sabi ng Catechism for Catholic Church, of the Catholic Church, chastity includes an apprenticeship in self-mastery. I like how they put it. Apprenticeship in self-mastery. When you say apprenticeship, what are you doing? You are training. You are learning. It's a process. Okay? You don't expect to be master right away. You are apprenticeship. You're training for it. The alternative is clear. Either man or human beings govern his passion and finds peace, or he lets himself be dominated by them and becomes unhappy. So what are we saying here? Chastity is learning how not to just be a slave to your cravings. Okay? Kapag gusto mo, kukunin mo. That's chastity is a learning to not be dominated by those cravings. Man's dignity therefore requires him to act of conscious and free choice, as moved and drawn in a personal way from within, and not by blind impulses in himself, or by mere external constraint. What are we saying here? It's freedom. Sabi mo, freedom. Okay, how do you understand freedom? When you say freedom, some people would say, freedom means I can do anything I want. But that's problematic because anything you want may not be a free choice on your part. You're just following your sexual appetites or whatever appetites you have. Okay? True freedom means everything in my being says yes to this. My body even. But I have a part of me that says, no, I don't have to give in. So who's the more free? The person who just gives in to every impulse? or the person who's able to say, well, I have the impulse, I feel it, but I can say no to it. So, sino mas malaya? Okay? Now, again, from the Catechism, self-mastery is a long and exacting work. One can never consider it acquired once and for all. Now, isn't that hopeful? Isn't it a relief? That the church doesn't expect us to be perfect at this right away, but it expects us to learn. Chastity has laws of growth which progress through stages marked by imperfection and too often by sin. Okay? So it acknowledges the fact that we sin in this area. But day by day, we build ourselves up through our free decision. So every decision grows in increments. And so He knows, loves, and accomplishes moral good by stages of growth. Stages of growth. Okay? So the next time, you may not be so quick to give in to the impulse when you've grown a little more. Okay? So, final slide. If you find yourself dealing with unchaste patterns, sexual sinfulness in this area, what can you do? First, move towards greater awareness and understanding of your behaviors. Oops, parang may nangyayari sa amin. The world may think that it's perfectly normal, but no. Okay? Be unflinching in looking at its consequences. Have no illusions about it. Harmless lang naman ito eh. Text lang naman. It's just text flirting. It's harmless. Or, I don't give naman my full identity. It's just katuwaan lang. But have no illusions about the consequences of those actions. Then, resolve to grow healthier and more loving. Talaga bang loving itong ginagawa ko? Or am I already using another person for my own sake, for my own benefit? And if you realize that, resolve to grow healthy. Pray unceasingly. With the emphasis on unceasingly. Even if you fall again, continue to pray. Don't stop. Because the evil one will tell you, oh, huwag na. Dadasal ka, alam mo naman, uulit mo naman. No? Praying unceasingly also means receiving the sacraments. Okay? And seek help. Companions, or community, or as I've said, the sacraments and the structures in the church. Okay? So yeah, stop here and have some time, your working time, for questions and reactions. Wala? Klaro? Okay.
Sige ako, Father.
Sige.
Father, kasi marami dito sa branch are health professionals. And we are often, and maraming health professionals in public health also. So we render direct service to patients. And it is a very true reality on the RH law. I think you mentioned earlier na part somehow dito yung so parang ano yung parang panghahawakan naming really parang succinct defense of on why the church stands on the RH law the way it stands.
So yeah, we try to thread through this quickly but also concisely. The church is not against family planning. Yun yung malinaw, no? it's not as if the church wants people to have as many children as they can, even if they... The church is for it supports family planning. It just doesn't support family planning in a way that, well, is artificial, and also tries to separate the sexual act, kumbaga, compartmentalizes the sexual act. No? Paano ba yun? Masyadong technical kasi huwag pinag-usapan. Basta, siguro, the best is really that uphold that responsible parenthood, family planning are things that the church supports. Okay? But it just tries to support it in ways that does not violate dignity of human persons, that does not parang hinder the integrity of the sexual act. Okay? And what do you mean by that? What we just said. No, that it is in the within the marital commitment, it is a loving act, no? And it is open to procreation. Okay? Yun. Marami yung nuances. But anyway, you can ask more questions. No? So, you can frame it in that way, in a positive way. No? Na parang, hindi naman galit ang simbahan sa mga taong family planning. It just tries to be very careful about respecting the dignity of human persons. All persons involved. The mother, the father, or the husband, the wife, and the child that will be born. Okay? So, yeah. That's all I can say siguro for now. Kung gusto nyo pang i-clarify, then you can ask more pointed questions. Yeah. Sabihin nila, well, the natural family planning doesn't work. Well, I'm not a medical professional. No? And I will not say it always works. I don't think anyone can say that. No? Also, another point here is the church will ultimately also respect the conscience decision of the couple. No? Now, when the couple makes a conscience decision, it presupposes that their consciences are formed. What do you mean by formed? They know the teachings of the church. Okay? They know it. They are loving persons, meaning they will, all the considerations they have in making the decision is towards love. No? Meaning towards good, for the well-being of the husband and wife, and for the child, and for the family. So it's not a selfish reason. No? So yun yung sabihin ng, and if at a certain point, with considering all those, they still say, oh, but we have to take this measure. Out of conscience, we will decide. No? Will they commit something that is wrong? Yes. It is still objectively wrong. No? But, will they be forgiven? Of course. Okay. So, conscious decision, and they will say that, parang, alam namin mali ito, pero talagang tinignan namin, at ito lang talaga yung nakita namin way. We will make this decision out of conscience. Is it still morally wrong? No? Because it's an artificial method? Yes. It cannot be. But will their conscience decision mitigate their culpability? Yes. And they can go to confession, they will be forgiven. Sige. And yes, Tim. Okay. Sige.
Just this afternoon, dun sa work kasi, they're coming up with a module about sexual orientation and gender identification. So,
Okay.
SOGI ang tawag nila. So, and here now, yung attorney boss ko, parang raise a question na, are you in favor of same-sex marriages? Parang ganyan. So, siyempre, di ba? So, tatlo sila, naka-office mate ko, they said, parang buo sila for same-sex marriage. And here now, I found myself explaining about yung sexuality course natin na parang yung sex in itself, parang it's for yeah, for the husband and the wife, parang the unity for husband and wife, and then it is also for procreation. So the use of sex outside marriage in the context of parang outside the context of those purposes, parang no yun, parang ganun yung sa akin. So, ang sa akin lang, alam ko lang din that I will not be convinced otherwise. Pero hindi ko rin, parang ayoko lang din na parang ma-persecute ka in a way na parang i-convince din na kasi ganito yung ano ng simbahan. Parang sa Catholic teaching, ganun kasi yung hirit ko, no? Sa Catholic teaching. And here, no, ito isang office mate ko, sabi niya, Catholic din naman ako, sabi niya ganun, pero binibigyan, parang karapatan nila yun eh. So, when you are being presented with about rights and about discrimination yun, pag hindi mo sila pinahayaan gawin yung gusto nila, parang how should we react? Rights and discrimination and
Oo nga, kasi ibang level of ano yun eh, kasi you're talking on a legal perspective, no? And they will not, kumbaga, kung yun yung context ng pag-usap, may hirap pasukin ng religious convictions because in the first place, you cannot anymore assume that you share the same religious beliefs or convictions, no? So, pero how do you face that? Well, kailangan himayin yung mga issues na yun. No? Ano bang pinaglalaban natin talaga doon? No? Is it the right for them to be legally, for two persons of the same sex to be recognized legally with all the rights that it entails, no? In public, that they are a couple, the same way that man and woman are recognized in everything, no? Parang yung hospital privileges, tax privileges, everything, no? Yun ba yung pinaglalaban doon? Pinaglalaban ba nila ay tanggapin sila ng lipunan na bilang marangal na tao kasi hindi na sila nagtatapos? Maraming cases doon. Pero siguro, as a Catholic, it's also clear first, it's also important first to be clear, ano pa talagang ako? Anong conviction ko dito? Ang pinaniwalaan ko dito. Anong tama at mali? No? And always, the church gets a bad rep for this. Na parang ang simbahan galit sa mga bakla, galit sa mga tomboy. There's no place for homosexuals in the church. But if you look at the church documents, there are parts there that are very, very pastorally compassionate to homosexuals. It's there. And the church believes that it's not their fault. They should not be condemned. They should not be persecuted. They should be accorded the same rights and the same respect as everyone. So bilang tao, kinikilala sila ng simbahan. No? Ang hindi lang pwedeng tanggapin ng simbahan ay yung pagtatalik. The sexual act. Kasi yun, the very, the sexual act is, pero sabihin mo, unfair naman yun sa kanila kasi paano nila may express yung intimacy nila kung hindi sila nagsisex? No? Pero kung titinan mo doon, the intimacy of the same-sex couples will never be the same as the intimacy of a heterosexual couple. No? Because the complementarity of the bodies are not there. Okay? So kung intimacy ba yun talaga? No? Or sexual pleasure, just to use other bodies for your own sexual pleasure. So, again, hindi natin ginajudge lahat, pero question mark din. No? Okay, so what the church is against is really the sexual act. Can they have a committed friendship? There's nothing in the church that says they cannot have. Wala. Can they be legally recognized as a committed couple? Maybe not the same as marriage. As not legal marriage. Unions, baka pwede pa. No? But church has not yet come out with an official teaching about that. No? So, siguro, as a Catholic, sabihin mo lang, well, first look at persons. Don't just look at issues. Look at persons. No? Dapat malinaw siya, ginagalang mo yung mga tao. At gusto mo rin din sila magpakatao at ganang yung pananaligan. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean just giving in to whatever imposes there? Hindi. So, the conviction is that, well, mali pa rin yun. No? Mali yun. You stand by that. But that doesn't make them monsters or evil. Okay? Now, we say, it's their right. Ano ba yun? Well, I guess siguro, just go back to, again, the dignity of the human person. Parang you believe, you don't have to be accorded parang legal sanctification or legal justification for a person to be dignified. Pero, that right has to be within certain bounds also. So pag may mga discussions like that, well, just quietly, parang sige, ano bang stand ko dito? Don't be aggressive. Okay? But look at them as persons. Kaya mo lang, oo, tao din sila. No? Pero, as for their right, siguro maganda titingnan ko ano ba talaga yung pinag-ilaman ko. Parang, ang dami-dami gustong himayin pero ito we don't have time for that. But anyway, you can just ask first. Makabuti na alauna dito. So, anyway, just going back to that again, just make sure that you put it across that the church has compassionate care, pastoral care for homosexuals. It's not true that they don't have a place in the church. That's not said enough.
Father, we discussed a while ago that what militates against the teachings of the church would be any artificial means by which birth would be implemented. But is it correct to say also that any artificial means by which the semen and the egg cells would be joined would also be violative of church teachings?
Like what, for example?
Artificial insemination, for example.
Yes, it is because it separates the sexual act from the procreative effect. Kasi parang then the procreation happens outside the sexual act kasi ng artificial insemination. So you remove the effect, the procreative effect, from the act. Diba? Hiniwalay mo eh. Kasi instead of the act leading to a new life, you are taking elements of it and manufacturing it artificially. Diba? Kasi hindi naman kailangan mag-sex ng dalawang tao, artificial insemination. Diba? So nahiwalay yung sexual act. Kaya mali din siya. The integrity of the sexual act is taken out of the picture.
But would it be the same, still the same if being resorted to by, let's say, for a couple who doesn't have the capability anymore to have their own child?
Diyan na papasok yung conscious decision. Sinasabi natin. No? Na alam nila, no? And there have been cases like that. No? I'm not, again, be very careful about this. You cannot say, pwede, sabi ni Father, pwede. Okay? It's still wrong. It's still objectively wrong. No? But does it make them evil persons because they do it? I don't think so. Okay? They will have to exhaust all the other means. And the church will really support them kasi exhaust other means. But the church will never come and say, okay na yan, pwede na yan. No. But can they resort to that?
Already diagnosed, is it still moral to engage for the purpose?
If they are what?
Already diagnosed.
That they're infertile. So parang
they already know that they can.
They cannot. So if they cannot, then wala ng sex. Ganon. Question mark. Well, no. I mean, it doesn't mean that just because they are, for example, menopausal. No? And say, hindi na kasi wala na yung procreative. No, it doesn't mean that. No? It doesn't mean that it always has to lead to new life. As long as the act itself, you don't interfere with it to prevent new life. But there are natural processes that already render it parang hindi na pwedeng mag-lead to new life. Naturally. But does that mean that they cannot anymore engage in it? No, to express their love for each other, to give their love to each other? Of course not. We can see that. Okay.
Father, for example, for health professionals, kasi most of us, we do projects talaga, mga programs to, for example, prevent HIV, ganyan. So, really, to conceptualize in a program, ang mga nire-recommend talaga is the use of contraceptives, ganyan. And for doctors, for example, for other cases naman, parang na-engage sila on ligation into something about So, at some point ba, Father, are we committing a sin on that because of our profession?
Yes. Ganun lang.
Resign.
But, yeah, kasi ayun mahirap pag yung mahirap pag blanket rule. As I said, when it comes to moral theology, you really have to look at the particulars of the case. No? Because one person who's engaged in that kind of behavior with a totally different context will be judged morally in a different way. No? Will be judged whether there's sin or not. It may be wrong, no? But the level of sinfulness and culpability may be different. Okay. Now, having said that, there are different forms of there's material cooperation and formal cooperation in sin. If you work in a clinic, in a reproductive health clinic that performs those, moral teaching will ask, are you formally cooperating or materially cooperating? No? Material cooperation, you are there, you're present. You may even be assisting, but you're doing so out of duress. No? Una, because there's no one else there, like an OR nurse. Na pag wala ka doon, mas peligro yung pasyente kasi walang tutulong. Okay? But you are just materially cooperating. Formal cooperation is that you're there, you know fully well, and you participate. Okay. Now, ibang degree din yung capability na. Okay? Is the ligation, for example, per se wrong? Yes. But your culpability in it may, depending on the context. And you always have to look at also the intention of the person. No? And, kumbaga the intention, what is going on in the person, what is the intent of the act. Okay? So, mahirap yung parang sabihin, ganito, sin, lahat. Ganito, hindi sin. Mahirap eh. So, you have to look at the particulars of the case. Especially in this area, it's very contentious. Ang daming issues dito. May mga kaibigan kami, mga doktor, mga OB sa they really come to us with this, Father, meron naman. I only tell them, alam nyo, if you're looking for a blanket rule that will make you feel parang kumbaga, okay na ako, alam ko na lahat, hindi na ako magsa-struggle with it. There's no such thing. You have to look at it per case and have to struggle with what you believe in. No? In order for you to make those decisions. Okay? Basta malinaw sa iyo, ano ba pinanghahawakan mo? Ano ba pinanghahawakan ng church? Always, dignity of human persons. The integrity of the sexual act. You have to go back to those basic things. At pag nawawala na yon, warning sign na yon, parang, oops, hindi na to, mali na to. Hindi na yun. Okay? So, but in the particulars, titingnan mo pa rin talaga. Okay? Okay.
Father, watching television.
Okay.
So,
Pornography or not necessarily
not
pornography?
necessarily.
Okay. That's true, no? Kumbaga, going back to the, of lust, parang consumption, no? Is it something that we consume? Consume, like, like products or commodities. No? And when you consume these, are you making objects of certain people? That's why pornography itself is very wrong, or anything that, because it is an illusion that parang these people are having a good time. It's a pleasurable act, but actually they are being used as objects. And that's what makes pornography very wrong, because you're using these people for consumption. Okay? Now when you say just watching, when you're exposed, tingnan mo din, ano bang effect nun sa'yo? Do you watch them to get sexually aroused? Do you watch them to get, parang deliberately? Okay? Kasi hindi na natin maiiwasan yun, you're barraged by all of these stimuli, di ba? All of it. Parang, pag ka lang ba sa Bible, parang patay, wala, last na yun, ganyan. Kung saan yung dadaan ka ng EDSA, talagang, kung nagmamaneho ka pa, hindi naman pwede hindi ka tumigil, di ba? Parang, ayun na, tingin lang ko, patay, hindi. So, iba yun kasi parang titingnan mo talaga na parang iba yung consume it. Iba yun kasi yung parang casual glance lang. And for medical professionals, parang looking at the naked body will have a very different effect as a person who's watching pornography. Those are the same body parts, those are the same, diba parang hindi naman magsabihin, ay ikaw, tumitingin ka sa, yun yung trabaho mo eh. Diba? So, tingnan mo anong effect doon para sa iyo. At para sa anong ginagawa.
Tigit na lang.
Oo, diba? Pwede eh. Diba? Again, the dignity, the human body is, it has its own dignity. It's not something that you are ashamed of. It's not. No? But you look at it and titingnan ko ba ito para masiyahan ako? May consumption na yung na yun, di ba? Titingnan ko ba ito para I will feel good? So, then you're using the body as object. Which is wrong. Okay?
Father, may I go back to your point on you look at each case ng case to case. Diba, you were mentioning something like that. Pero it doesn't mean na lahat na lang ng bagay case to case.
Oo. When I say case to case, hindi siya ibig sabihin relative na parang what I'm saying is look at the particulars of the case and see how those particulars, kumbaga, paano siya tatama dun sa standards of the church which are consistent. Okay? Kasi there are, like in my example, masturbation. Diba? Say, masturbation. What is masturbation? The manipulation of genitals to produce sexual pleasure, reaching orgasm. Sabihin mo na. You say, masturbation is immoral. Okay, you can say that. But to judge whether these persons who commit the act of masturbation, whether they are sinful or not, will be different. Masturbation will always be wrong. Hindi siya yung para tama dito, mali dito. It will always be wrong. Pero yung kasalanan, nag-iiba ang level. Kasi itong taong ito talaga bang full will and full consent niya ginagawa? Or itong taong ito may sakit, psychologically, hindi niya mapigilan ang sarili niya. Wala siyang full will. Wala siyang free will. So, yun yung sinasabi kong look at the particulars of the case. Ano ba yung nangyayari doon? Hindi yung tama siya dito, mali siya dito. Hindi. Mali yun lahat. Pero may kasalanan ba o hindi, tingnan mo ano bang nangyayari doon. Okay? Kasi mahirap yun, parang sabi ni Father, case-to-case basis. So, parang may case na okay lang, pwede pala, hindi ganun, no? But when you look at sin, you look at it, ano bang nangyayari sa tao ito? Are sexual acts and unconscious thoughts like dreams considered a sin? No. Kaagad, no? No. Because you're unconscious. Parang, there's no sin there because you're not freely doing it. You're not willing. What is sin? Tingin nga, how do we understand sin pala? No? Parang, a wrong act, no, does not automatically mean that you have committed sin. Okay? Because sin involves more than just the acting wrong. It also your intention, your freedom. No? And so, you may have committed a mistake, but your sinfulness may not be, kumbaga, mitigated because you're not totally, parang kumbaga, in control of your faculties. Unconscious ka nga eh. No? Can you say, is there a point of choice there? When you're dreaming pa, ayoko yan na yun. Lipat na ibang channel, lipat sa ibang channel. You can't. There's no culpability there. Now, that doesn't mean that parang baliwala lang yun. Hindi. Tingnan mo din, no? If this is recurring to you, di ba? Na parang, bakit sobrang sexual ng mga dreams mo? It doesn't mean that you're a sexual maniac or anything. Your dreams can be telling you something, in terms of your anxieties, in terms of your needs and desires. So you may have to pay attention to them. Okay? But are they sin? No. I don't think so. So yun na pag-pray mo. Sana sa dream na lang. Ganun. Daydreams and now iba naman yung when you're asleep and when you're already actively fantasizing. Iba yun. Actively meaning, you know this expression na parang hinuhubaran ka. Yung tingin sa'yo parang hinuhubaran ka. You know that expression, right? I mean, sabi parang tingin mo parang hinuhubaran ka. That means that the person is already, fantasizing consciously. Iba din yan. You're doing already.
Meron ding dreams, Father, na parang in control ka. Kahit you're dreaming, pero lucid dreams.
Basta ang point doon is, are you doing it deliberately? Or, diba, yung parang sabi nila, diba, yung may nag-confess, Father, I am entertaining sexual thoughts. Pero sabi ng pare, well, son, the question is, are they entertaining you? Kumbaga, ginagawa mo siya para mag-enjoy ka. Diba? If they come and go, I mean, you cannot prevent them. That's how our mind works. You cannot fully, but once you realize what you're doing, you say, okay, kung tutuloy-tuloy ko ito, alam ko ano mangyari dito. Now, you come to a point of choice. Will I go with it or not? That's when the sin comes. But if there are random thoughts that come and go, sometimes, for people, I'm not going to say for men it's like this. No, both for men and women. For people who have very high sexual energies, there are people who are like that. Both men and women. But does it mean that they are already sinful? No. If they're conscious of it and you say, diba, kaya natin sexual apprenticeship kasi inaaral mo ito. You're growing in this. You're growing, say, okay, pag tinuloy-tuloy ko ito, ang makahantungan nito is a sexual act that is going to be wrong. Will I want that? I'm already thinking of this person and using this person for my own sexual pleasure. Now, do I want that? So, once you're aware of it, then you can make choices. But if it comes and goes, you don't have to be very scrupulous about it. Say, oh no. The Lord knows. The Lord knows what's in your heart. Okay? Parang tahimik na dito. Pwede na?
Yung Father sa mind, tanong ko naman is yung nabanggit mo kanina yung life o sexual act para sa life. For a married couple, example, gagawin lang ba nila yung sexual act only if
Kung gusto niya mag-anak.
magkaanak? Ano yung degree of
Okay. Okay. No. Parang hindi din naman yun ang parang I guess siguro ang ano lang doon is that every sexual act, of course in the context of marriage, is somehow open to the possibility. No? There are natural processes in the body that also inhibits procreation. No? Kaya nga may natural family planning kasi yun yung voluntary ito eh. But at least that's how I understand the principle to be. So it's not all the time that parang you do it just so that you have your children. But you're conscious of the fact that that act is open to that every time. Kasi that's when parang the artificial becomes problematic kasi then it takes away that consciousness na parang it can be open to the procreative act. Parang kumbaga, in it, talagang meron siyang possibility na meron. But hindi ibig sabihin na gagawin mo sa gusto mo ka. Because it's also, as you said, it's giving to each other, which is vital in a marriage commitment. Kasama yun doon. Ibibigay kayo ng sarili niyo. And what more concrete way than to give to each other physically yourself in the sexual act. Nothing can be more concrete or more beautiful than that. So, hindi sabihin na para lang magkaanak. Magagawin na nila gusto na magkaanak. Because there's also the unitive effect or the aspect of the act. Ano daw? Sige.
Tanong po nila yun. Kasi, ito, ano yun?
Sige.
May yung sa, kasi di ba, deliberate, may deliberation, merong will, may consciousness, may what if, kunyari yung mga babae o lalaki, nagsusuot sila, uso lang, pero yung pananamit nila would lead others to sin. Pero sa kanila, conscious wala. Ganun lang talaga sila magsuot. Pero it lead others to sin as to the way they dress up. So, ikaw ba, parang nakakasala ka din in a way if you lead others to sin? Pero ganun ka na talaga magsuot.
Okay. Again, going back to what the principles behind this teaching, which is the dignity of the human person, the human body, yung gano'n. Parang, yun yung titinan mo. Yung, parang as for leading others to sin, loaded kasi yung statement na yan eh. Parang baga alam mo talaga na yun yung effect noon, no? Ganun ka baka confident sa katawan mo. So, what I'm saying is the effect is not within your parang kapag kung yun yung, alam mo pala yun, tapos ginagawa mo, parang question mark na kaagad sa akin yun, di ba? So, again, basta bumalik na tayo doon. Parang, just look at yourself in terms of your dignity. How are you, kumbaga, upholding your dignity as a human person? How are you upholding the value and dignity of your body? Yun yung batayan, no? Kasi yung nakakasala ka if you cause others to sin because you wear certain things. Siguro mas mahalagang tingnan kung yung pagsuot mo is, kumbaga, kino-communicate ba niya ay may dignidad ka, marangal kang tao. Siguro yun yung tanong. Kasi as for the effect on the others, parang, at on the other side naman yung parang, siya kasi, kaya siya na-rape kasi ganyan yung suot niya. That's not never justification. So yun, parang dignity, value of the human body. So when you look at the teaching of the church, sana yun yung stress. Hindi kung ano yung bawal. Kasi may purpose yung bawal eh. Hindi naman bawal. Bakit? Kasi bawal. Yun lang, period. No? But behind the teachings of the church, they may be difficult to swallow sometimes or to understand or to fight for. Pero may saysay. Hindi naman ito yung parang wala lang dahil gano'n, sinabi ni Father, gano'n. Hindi. Sinabi ni Pope. What the church is really upholding are very beautiful things. No? And for us who try to learn and understand more of our faith, that should be our focus. No? Na hindi lang na tayo natatakot kasi bawal. Pero suriin natin yung bawal. Ano bang beneath the bawal? Ano yung the yes behind the no? Which, parang if you're going to read, I really suggest that you find copies of this in UCAT. Kasi napaka-positive ng kanyang, the way it's putting out the teaching. It's very, very understandable also. No? And laid out very well. No? I mean, madali siyang basahin. No? Kasi makita mo dito, oo nga pala, ganda pala ng mga turo ng simbahan, especially about sexuality. About sexuality. Hindi yung parang yung accent niya or yung center of gravity niya is yung condemnation. But it's really upholding beautiful things. Sexuality is a gift. The human body is valuable. The human person has dignity. You cannot use another person as means. Ito yung mga principles behind that. Hindi yung parang bawal kasi gano'n. Okay? Sige. Sabihin sana, wala na. Sige, tanong niyo na, baka masiraan kayo ng bait pag hindi. What is the best advice to the couple who are legally married, civilly married? Is it sinful to receive communion or body of Christ? Again, another thorny issue in the church. Ano ba yung, well, pag legally married, advice, and they're both Catholics, there's no reason why they cannot get married in the church. Budget is not reason to postpone marriage. No? Ang kailangan mo lang, kayong dalawa at ang pari, pwede na yun. Wala ng reception. Kasi, di ba? And so hindi naman din yung mga, also some parishes can make it very difficult. I know that. No? Mayabang lang kasi kami kasi hindi naman kami parish priests. No? But actually, hindi mo din sila mabiblame. But parang, di ba sinabi ni Pope Francis yan, na parang, how can we make the sacrament of marriage more accessible and not parang pagtanong na lang palang nila, bibigyan ka agad ng menu of fees. Diba? May choir, walang choir. Kasamang bulaklak, hindi kasamang bulaklak. Ganun, diba? Hindi mo ba agad tinatanong, naghanda ba kayo? Nagmamahalan ba kayo? Hindi ganun eh. Diba? Ay, hindi tinatanong. So, mahirap. So, the advice to couples legally married, civilly married, get married in church. No? Kaya kami nagkakasalang bayan dyan sa PGH. No? Because that's part of to be regularized. No? Is it sinful to receive communion? It's not sinful to receive communion when you're not married in church. It's not a sin. But the church is saying, you are doing something that is against the teachings of the church. No? So in order for you to fully be in communion with the church, to receive communion, then you strive towards living more consistently with the teachings of the church. So sa akin, pag may nag-confess ng ganun, I ask them, take steps to regularize your marriage. As in, concrete steps. Ang mahirap dito pag mga previously married. Yun mahirap kasi they have to get an annulment. Pero medyo na to ngayon kasi even the Pope says, the receiving of communion should not be a prize. hindi siya dapat reward. No? In fact, some of these people, some of these who are living, sabihin natin, people will label them living in sin, are the ones who really need to receive the body of Christ. So they go to confession, and the church will absolve, the priest will absolve them. So the advice is go to a priest. And not just go to a priest, go to a compassionate priest. Totoo, kasi may mga pare ako, naumpisa ako sa pare. Minsan may mga pare malupit. So yan. And you, my dear lay Catholics, you have a right to choose a confessor. They may not all be the same. Because some are cruel. So it's not sinful, but they can go to confession and the priest will advise them what to do. Ako, I make exceptions in the hospital, especially if there's danger of death. I give them communion anyway because they are sick. And in danger of death. So kahit sabihin nila, Father, hindi po kami kasal sa simbahan. So, kasi sabi ko, well, may sakit ka ngayon, pagka magaling ka na, magagaling ka, talagang pag-usapan niyo na mabuti ng asawa mo. Hanapan niyo ng paraan. Tapos, dahil may sakit ka, but that's the exception because yes. But they can go to confession and the priest can absolve them and give them advice. Okay. Pero mahirap eh. Nag-iingat din ako. Mag-iingat ako kasi alam kong even within the church, even within the hierarchy of the church, iba-iba. No? At ayokong mag-put on record and say, may Jesuita nagsasabi din, okay na pala. No? So, mga Jesuit pa rin sinasabihin natin, mga Jesuit talaga, sobrang kayong liberal. No? But what we're looking for here is really more pastoral concern. No? And the Pope says, receiving the body of Christ should not be a prize. In fact, it's something you need for healing, for sustenance. Hindi na yung parang yung mga mababait. In fact, yun yung mga makasalanan naman kailangan. Sige, meron pa? Good question. Will cybersex between husband and wife be considered sin? Yes, it is. No? Sabi mo, within the context of marriage naman yun. No? Or, ano naman yun? Yung parang, it's for the good of the marriage. It's true. It's not phrase that. It's not considered sin. It's morally wrong. It's wrong. Why? Again, because it takes away from the integrity of the sexual act. Because there's no actual, virtual union. No? Plus, you're also putting both of you at risk. No? Kahit sabihin mong, it's still the internet and anybody can access that. No? And you're opening yourself and your wife or your husband to being objectified. No? Ganyan. So, ang advice doon sa mga is to wait until such a time that you're able to and isipin mo, and good question also to ask is, are there other ways of kumbaga strengthening your intimacy apart from sex, especially if you're long distance? Kumbaga, just because there's a sexual need, you have to give in to that need. At yun din yung dun na parang dahil malakas yung urge, kailangan talaga. Then, that goes against chastity because chastity orders the sexual urge and doesn't put it as the absolute value. Diba? Dignity of the human person pa rin ang mas valuable. Eh kung sa cybersex, parang nangyayari na objectify mo yung partner mo. Because you are just pleasuring yourself. Your partner is dead. Diba? You're pleasuring yourself. And your partner is also pleasuring herself or himself. Diba? So hindi siya giving act. Makikita niya? So, Parang, kasi ako lang yung nasisiyan, ako lang yung nasasarapan. Nandiyan ka. Ikaw din. Diba? O, pero kung titignan mo talaga yun a little more closely, it's not really what we're talking about as a giving of itself to the other. Kasi you're pleasuring yourself. Okay? But, pwede mo, normal lang yan eh. Totoo. Talagang wala na, it's like that. No, parang, magazine pa lang, kung kita mo, paggupit ka lang ng book na dyan tinuturuan ka how to pleasure yourself. 10 ways to have better orgasm. Diba? It's parang, gano'n talaga. It's as if it's all about what you get. So, yeah. Which is against what sexuality is for, which is really giving. Giving. Okay? Meron pa? Wala na, baka may hindi makatulog. No? At dilat ang mata mamaya hanggang bukas dahil hindi natanong. Wala. So as a last word, again I go back to what I said, that the church's teachings on sexuality isn't really just about what is prohibited, but it's about the values that are being upheld. No? And the values really are the dignity of human person, sexuality as a channel of love, as a communication of love between two persons. It is a means of loving. So that's why chastity, whether you're single or you're married, it is a Christian ideal. It's a Christian virtue. Because it puts love and dignity above urge, need, selfishness. Okay? Tama na.